Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Letitia Wallace begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. This year's A Taste of the Huon has been cancelled due to COVID restrictions. Organisers say it was a devastating decision, but a last-minute cancellation would have been catastrophic for the festival.
Every year, thousands of people flood to the Huon Valley hoping to experience a taste of the Huon. But this year, the Ranelagh Showgrounds will look very different, with organisers forced to pull the pin on the annual festival.
The result of closing the festival was unanimous. The reasons behind that was the COVID plan that we had to follow.
The event's framework would only have allowed 2,000 people at a time to attend, a far cry from the 20,000 who passed through the gates last year. Organisers say the decision is devastating.
That upset that I was reduced to tears nearly. I've had calls from the committee, they're very upset. One didn't sleep the whole night. So we didn't take the decision lightly.
Another blow for a community which was still recovering from the impacts of the 2019 bushfires when COVID struck last year.
We've had a bit of a tough run, but anyway, we're battling on.
Despite Tasmanians supporting the business, visitors to the Huon Valley Caravan Park have been cut in half by COVID.
It's our biggest weekend of the year, the Taste, and it's devastating. It's a major loss for us.
But they say they understand the decision to cancel the event, also backed by the Mayor.
The dramatic reduction in numbers, it wouldn't have had naturally the same impact that event does normally have.
And a last-minute cancellation could have been catastrophic. Last year, A Taste of the Huon saw a drop in numbers, coinciding with the beginning of the pandemic. This year, organisers say if the festival wasn't successful, it would have been its last.
There's no way that if we only had 4,000 people coming to the festival this year, that we would have the funds to continue. And I hope everyone understands that.
Regulars say it will be missed.
It's fantastic. It's not only us. We have 80 stall holders on that oval.
But have been reassured it will be back and better than ever for its 30th year in 2022. Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's market stall holders say business is beginning to return to normal following their closure due to the pandemic. But how business is being done is changing as staff and customers adjust to the state government's COVID-safe rules.
Up and about across the state this morning, Tasmanians were taking part in their weekend tradition. Launceston's Harvest Market and Tasmania's own in Hobart bustling with customers, keen on fresh produce. For stallholders, these large crowds are a vital source of income.
We do have a wholesale side of the business as well, but from a retail perspective, it'd probably be just shy of half at the moment.
It's probably 90% of our sales, so yeah, it's been good.
The coronavirus pandemic forcing these businesses to close or scale down, putting pressure on their operations. As the state government eases restrictions, operators are seeing patron numbers and turnover return.
Normal for us, but no harm in having more.
We've noticed quite a few interstate tourists are back at the market, so it's been pretty solid all the way through. Yep.
They're about the same, which is good, all things considered.
For others, their recovery will take extra time.
A lot of our business came from restaurants, and restaurants rely on tourists, and so it's kind of like a chain effect, I guess, really.
Restrictions also limiting the crowd at Salamanca, with the market rebadged until they return to full capacity. Check-ins, hand sanitizer and crowd caps all part of the new normal. Shoppers praise for their compliance.
They fully understand how to check in the app, and then they sort of understand what's going on.
When we first started, I think everybody was a bit more conscious, but now it's a lot better.
The virus may have changed how we live our lives, but the desire for fresh Tasmanian produce remains. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Melting ice and digging holes in the sand have been among star attractions on today's Mona Foma program. Dozens took to the beach this morning at Taroona, using whatever they could to unearth their own piece of treasure.
Digging deeper can get you into trouble, but for this group of Foma patrons, it was a chance to earn them a small reward. Hinsby Beach resembling a mine pit today, as Hobart went in search of buried treasure.
The artist has created some stylised oyster shells for people to pick up, and each one of them has something very special inside of it.
The Michael Sales Store for Hobart Digs project exploring regeneration, while also encouraging community spirit.
It's really nice to have people down here and working as a community. Even though we've got such strong COVID-19 restrictions, we're still able to have fun.
From the classic garden shovel to a plastic spade, everyone had a different tactic. Some lucky enough to strike gold, or in this case, pearl.
We all thought we had to dig quite deep, but it was just one turn of a shovel and it popped out.
My daughter Orla actually selected the spot, so that was fortuitous, and we had a $2 shovel that we used to dig.
For those who preferred something indoor, Ruramis in Hobart CBD was the place to be. These blocks of ice took 2 weeks to cast, but are melting over the space of a weekend. Local rocks and minerals placed inside them, falling to the sound of music.
A kind of nice meditation on allowing something to fall, collapse, and think about that.
And when the doors close, the display continues. Locals encouraged to pass by the Bathurst Street site later tonight.
You're going to see a projection in the window, and you're actually going to see these ice blocks behind me illuminated. The lights are going to be on. It's going to be a really special experience.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
After finally setting off on its voyage to the Caribbean on Thursday, Incat's latest ship has mysteriously reappeared in Hobart. The Buku Reef was scheduled to depart for Trinidad and Tobago earlier this month, but was delayed after its crew were forced back into quarantine after travelling from Brisbane. The reason behind its return is unknown. Woodchopping has today made a triumphant return to Bridport after a 40-year absence from the town. The Eric Reeves Memorial Thousands event is the world's richest woodchopping handicap and was held in front of a bumper crowd in the heart of the seaside town.
Those at Bridport today ditched the beach to watch the axe fall at the Eric Reeves Memorial Thousands.
It's the first time to have an official carnival here actually for about 40 years.
The event, Australia's richest woodchopping handicap, also attracting world champions. Being a handicap, this title was harder to win than most.
It's been a varied event. It's had a big area of winners. Like not all front markers, not all back markers.
I got second 3 times, third a couple of times, and favourite a couple of times and got beat, so can never ever win. I won everything else in the world but couldn't win this.
The main event taken out by Wynyard's Bill Purton, the front marker in the day's final. He beat a highly fancied field, including back marker Cody Steers.
So it's the biggest handicap we've got. So yeah, always you want to be sort of, in good form when you come to compete here for sure.
Steers already a winner, having taken out a Tasmanian championship earlier in the day.
Got a win in the 15-inch centre block championship, which is always a good event here. I've won it once before a couple of years ago.
Judging by the crowd that turned out for the event, there'll be pressure for the next chop held here to be a little sooner than in 40 years' time. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
With the inaugural Race Tasmania kicking off tomorrow, drivers have been preparing at Symmons Plains. Many of them haven't raced for nearly a year, so anticipation is building ahead of the big day.
I had one chance to get on pole position at the Grand Prix, and that was 10 months ago. Managed to qualify second, but I've had to wait, like I said, 10 months to be back at a racetrack and in my race car. So
tomorrow we'll see 2 practice sessions run for all categories, as well as qualifying in the Touring Car Masters. Tasmanian Richie Porte has claimed a 7th win on top of Willunga Hill in South Australia to take out Stage 3 of the Festival of Cycling. Teammate Luke Plapp played a supporting role in the final stages to make it a 1-2 finish for Team Garmin.
It's just been a great race so far. Yeah, I mean, I don't have the form I normally would. Had to go longer than I normally would too, and that hurt so much, but it's just great to be back racing.
Good evening everyone. Hobart the state's top today, reaching 28 degrees, 26 in Launceston, Burnie 25 and 22 in Devonport. Around the state, Ouse also reaching 28, 26 in Grove, St Helens, Friendly Beaches and Lyowini all 25, Smithton a top of 23 and 20 in Strawn. Low-level cloud can be seen about the west and around King Island today, while mid to high-level cloud covered central and southern parts of the state. Across Australia, mid to low-level cloud covered parts of New South Wales and southern Queensland, while mid to high-level cloud with embedded thunderstorms can be seen over the northern quarter of the country. Tomorrow's chart shows a ridge of high pressure over Tasmania moving east, while another ridge extends along the eastern seaboard. Several troughs and associated lows sit over Western Australia. West to northwesterly winds tomorrow 10 to 20 knots, becoming north to northeasterly in the afternoon. Partly cloudy about the south tomorrow with Hobart reaching 26, 29 in Richmond, Ouse 31 degrees. Mostly sunny and 30 in Launceston, 26 in Devonport, Deloraine 29 and partly cloudy. 26 in Burnie tomorrow, Strawn a top of 25, partly cloudy and 24 in Curry. And warm in the east also with St Helens and Swansea both 25 and 26 degrees in Whitemark. And the UV tomorrow continues to remain at the extreme level right across the state. Looking on to Monday now, showers developing about the west, extending statewide during the afternoon and the evening. Showers easing and contracting to the north in the afternoon on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, fine apart from possible showers about the northwest in the morning and the evening. 26 in Perth tomorrow, a very hot 41 in Adelaide, 35 in Melbourne, sunny and 38 in Canberra and partly cloudy in Brisbane and Cairns. And currently Hobart 24 and mostly cloudy, sunny and 22 in Launceston and also sunny in Devonport with 21. And Letitia, looks like we've got some nice weather over the coming days.
Yes, it's nice to see summer finally back. Thanks for that, Chelsea. That's all your news for this Saturday evening. Thanks for joining us. Good night.